Yes to snake. The fletching table actually got its use in 24W14 potato. Wait a second, you're right. Anyways, this update is excellent. Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. A deeper look at those dog sounds, more on those juicy new eggs, my office is shiny and new already, and even more. Tap that like button, legends, and let's call Snapshot 25W0888 today. I don't know, it just sounded like one of those old TV commercials, right? Biome Effects has a new field, dry foliage color, that defines the color used for the tinting of blocks using dry foliage tinting. Besties, we never know, but this could be another case of that whole accidentally revealing mob variant thing from earlier on. When the pig variants were added in 25W028, an interesting tag was added to the game. This tag right here, we talked a whole lot about. It spawns cold variant farm animals, whatever. That was kind of how we got the inkling that, hey, they're probably either going to add more farm animals or maybe just change some of the other farm animals in the game as well, and not just the pig. Surprise, surprise, it happened. So this new dry foliage tag, mainly, I believe it was implemented for this new leaf litter. I love how it looks, by the way. Still obsessed. It's all about the gradients of things. So as you can see over here, inside of the plains biome, we have really like brown leaf. And then over here, inside of the river biome, Stony Shore, we have really, well, still brown. But also, like you can clearly see here, inside of the Stony Shore biome, the leaf litter itself, it's gotten a little bit colder than it would have once been inside of the plains biome. You can kind of see this gradient happen a little bit better when you place this block on white concrete, or a block that doesn't already have a gradient as well. But dry foliage tinting, why would we put dry foliage tinting if no other dry foliage seemingly actually is affected by tints right now? And side note, I don't know why I just placed that bush down. I'm a fool, a clown, the whole circus. This isn't a dry foliage. I believe the only dry foliages that we have in the game right now, maybe, is the dead bush, but that's like literally a dead foliage, so no gradient there. And then the dry grass, and I'm pretty sure, at least right now, dry grass isn't affected by any gradients at all. Like, no matter what, where you are in the world, this stuff is always the same, bright, intense yellow. I wonder if either A, dry grass gets a tinting gradient, or B, we get even more dry plants soon. Dogs, the brand's new sounds, oh my gosh, I'm in love with them. So ever since the initial snapshot, I've been messing around with the snapshot more, hence this video. Dog sounds, these are one of the other things that I didn't really have enough time to actually like properly show off to you inside of the initial snapshot video. So what I've gone ahead and done here is, with the help of the play sound command on Java Edition, you could actually cycle through every single one of these different mob sounds. Now, I'm going to show you every ambient sound, but we also have death sound, growl sound, hurt sound, pant sound, shake sound, step sound for every mob. For every dog. And remember here, these different personalities, they are not tied to the wolf variant at all. Theoretically, you could have an adorable, perfect chestnut wolf with the big sound, or with the cute sound, or with the grumpy sound, or whatever. So real quick here, I'll boost the sound. These are some of the different ambient sounds for each new dog personality, beginning with classic. These sounds, now they're amazing, but there is one out of every single one of these sounds that is a star of the show with stand down. I mean, look, maybe I'm biased because I have two large-sized dogs, but the big dog, listen to this thing. I love it. It's like deep. It's intense. I need one in my world. This is absolutely 100% what Bones sounds like. Oh my god, I love it. Now for the big dog, because it's my favorite, I wanted to go ahead and take a quick second to show off every other sound that it can make. So beginning with its whine right here. That sounds like Puglin, or like what I would think the dog variant Puglin would sound like. Next up, we've got the pant. Like, wait a second, is that not like literally Puglin? I don't know. Then we have hurt. Oh, it's so sad. We will never hear this sound, of course. Oh, but it sounds like intense. Like it can stand up for itself. And there are a couple of different sound variants within each sound as well. So, like, we got a lot of depth and detail variation going on. We've got the growl. Ooh, it's gonna be. Oh, yeah, it's like deep and like you don't want to mess with it. I love it. And the different variants again. And then tragically, absolutely never, like if we never hear the hurt sound, we're absolutely never hearing this one. But oh, that is a good sound. It sounds like a heavy door slamming. Right? That sounds so good. Out of these new dog sounds, if you've had the time to listen to even more of them, which one is your favorite? Call me about it down below, and let's move on. Studio W7, that's the name for my new studio. It's smooth. We upgrade, baby. Now, I don't know if you guys care about this, so I'll go ahead and show off a little tour near the end of the video. But more importantly, inside of this room in the studio right here, oh my gosh. So I've gone ahead and laid out every single spawn egg. Obviously, the big focus of the snapshot is these beautiful new spawn eggs right here. I've been staring at these things trapped inside of this room. Like, I put the iron door on the inside, forgot the button and whatever, and I've just been staring at these eggs for like a week now. I am so obsessed with this thing. I love them so much. They're so beautiful and gorgeous. Yeah, I just wanted to take another really quick look at them because now I've laid them out inside of my world on a blank canvas of a white wall so you can see nothing but these textures and really, like, you know, take them in, immerse yourself in them. And I've also learned a little bit more about how these eggs are actually being done. So for starters here, we have the texture updates that happened earlier on in this update cycle, like 25W03A or something. They made it so you could individualize a whole lot of different textures inside of the game, but an interesting thing going on here with the spawn eggs that I initially completely missed here is, well, the fact that we have 3 different spawn egg sizes. So let's take the Ender Dragon, for example, a very, very large, hefty mob. No offense, of course, and Politeful King. I don't know. The Creeper, a little bit more of like a medium, average size mob. And then last but not least, let's take the Bee right here, a tiny mob. You can see right here, it's a little bit hard to stand out. This is how I missed it, but we have a size 1, size 2, and size 3. 3 different size categories will go on now for all of these spawn eggs. If you have a big mob like the Ender Dragon, it's going to be the largest size egg. You've got a more average size mob, it'll be basically like the same size as the old spawn egg. And then a small mob like the adorable bee or maybe even the kitten. I love the jelly spawn egg, by the way, but maybe even like the cat or something. Well, then the spawn egg will actually be a little bit smaller than the other ones. That's a really cool way to do it, and it also adds for a whole lot of potential diversification. If in the future maybe there's like a new mob that is very similar to the slime but a completely different size, you could theoretically have a relatively similar texture but like completely different size or something like that. A couple other spawn eggs that I absolutely love here, the rabbit. Look at that with the adorable tail and the ears. I love it. Love me the tropical fish one. Something about the coloration right there, it's just fire. Tadpole. This is what in the world? It's so creepy looking. Parrot. Love me some parrot. That looks really, really good. And yeah, just in general, all of these spawn eggs, they are so beautiful. Thought the sizing thing was pretty cool. Leaf litter. Want to circle back around to it because this stuff inside of the plains biome, you kind of know. It's like the blank canvas, if you will, whatever. You know, that's kind of how I think about it with the plains biome. This is what the leaf litter looks like here. Inside of the initial snapshot video, I saw a couple of questions and requests for some different biomes. Like basically, how does this stuff end up looking in, say, the jungle biome? Well, inside of the jungle biome, you can see here, the stuff is still brown. It's going to be brown in every biome. Basically, you know, there's an exception if you saw part 1, but it's a lot more warm inside of the jungle. The birch forest biome, you can see it happening in the gradient right here. We've got the forest biome, a little warmer than the plains biome. Inside of the birch forest biome, it's a little colder, just like the grass. The savanna biome, ooh, good call. You will never find this stuff naturally generating on the floor. I think there's a good argument for maybe, I don't know if it's even possible, but maybe make the leaves sometimes generate on the ground in some other biomes, but instead of all over the place, maybe near the trees, right? Anyways, though, the leaf here, you can see it's really, really dried out. It looks properly dead. To be honest, I can't remember if we took a look at it in the desert. I don't think we did, but here it is. It's a little more green. And while we're at it, of course, the Badlands biome as well. It's a little bit more dried out. The Mushroom Island biome. This is one of the most interesting ones because the grass color here, if you've ever seen this stuff, oh, like, you know, it's so warm and just like, I don't know, it kind of, for whatever reason, throws me back to like the alpha days of Minecraft or something. How about the leaf litter inside of this biome? Well, I mean, it's like really, really warm. It's kind of giving like jungle biome or something, but maybe a little bit more warm. Now, just to walk us into this next part here, the pale garden biome. We've seen it, we love it. The leaves are actually pale here. This thing, I'm obsessed with it. What about the cherry blossom biome? All right, so please, Mojang, I don't even know if I need to beg you. You've been doing so well with this update, but let's cook a little bit more. So I saw somebody ask this in the comments. I always love to get to read the comments. One of my favorite parts of the day here. But over inside of the cherry blossom, I jump in game, I place it down, and my disappointment is immeasurable. My day, well, not really ruined because I kind of figured this was going to happen, but what if these things turned pink inside of this biome, right? Like, hear me out. I know we already have the pink leaves, but like maybe a different pink tone, brownish pink. I don't know. Maybe. Huh, how about it? Like earlier on in the video, did you tap that like button yet? And have you subscribed? You double check, make sure. We will take our party to the moon this year, and I would love to have you along for the ride. Now, this dry grass, we talked about it earlier on in the video. We circle back around to it because there's actually a big problem. Java here this time is the one that needs to catch up. So take a look at this grass. If I line it up, well, I line up perfectly. Like, there's no variation. Same thing with the small grass. Not the same thing. with our normal grass. There's a little bit of a, well, I forget what you call it here, but it's like kind of randomized and placed differently on the block. Meanwhile, these grasses are not. Meanwhile, on Bedrock, for going on 2 weeks, the grass placement is randomized. So we already knew this update wasn't quite finished yet, but this is definitely another sign that, yeah, the update, and this dry grass in particular, is fully unfinished. Like on this version, no gradient, no variation in the placement. It's weird. Getting near our finale today, sheep. I almost can't even talk about them any longer. I feel like I've been talking about them for 4 weeks now, but the sheep. In our initial snapshot video, we introed it with talking about the sheep and how basically the spawning has been reverted and changed, but at the same time, it's not reverted and changed. It's like black sheep are common in the cold, brown are common in the warm, but I wasn't too sure about the other colors going on. Basically, in every single biome, we'll have the different grayscale colors of sheep and brown sheep being able to spawn as well as the pink sheep. The colors that have been fully removed, at least on Minecraft Java, more on what's going on in Bedrock in this video right here, but the colors that have been removed on Java are these warm tones and the blue tones officially. Every one of these colors is back to being an unnatural color of sheep that will never spawn. Now, another sheep update that went down inside the latest preview has to do with ferns. A sheep on Minecraft Java can now eat the fern plant, just like they can on Bedrock Edition. If you could remember, I talked about it in one of the other videos. This is sort of just like how the sheep can actually eat the proper dry grass plant as well. You guys, you're carrying me through today, thank you. On the other video, I saw maybe the most intriguing comment. With the sheep's slight texture update, what about Jeb? And I'm not talking like luscious hair Jeb. I'm talking like a beautiful color gradient Jeb. So here we have a white sheep. If I go ahead and shear you, we have this well, this is a bad example. Sheep right here, we go ahead and dye it yellow. You can see the wool around its head is now yellow and the undercoat is yellow as well. And what in the world would happen if we had a sheep that was yellow, that was Jebified? So now we got that sick color gradient going on. What happens if I shear you? Well, look at that. The color gradient happens all the way through the sheep. That is so cool, so subtle, so beautiful. I love that the head just like changes as well. That's sick. The attention to detail here with this one, I mean, it's immaculate. You can see that the sheep, I mean, it fully gradients everywhere, all over, inside probably, and out. And then with the sheep, bad news. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll change their mind. They did change their mind on the color spawning after all. But inside of the Minecraft Monthly, the sheep phrasing, the question of a new model, well, things were worded interestingly. So I noticed a couple of things here. First things first, this video, the shot right there, this is clearly an old shot because on Java, the sheep don't look like this with the wool like hair anymore. And they never looked like that on Bedrock Edition either. So old footage here inside of Minecraft Monthly, that tells us that the change was very, very recent. That also tells us that this little sheep model update with a colored undercoat, it was very recent and probably wasn't planned. Well, boo, our Fedora legend said, sheep, now we don't need new models, or paraphrasing here, because of the colors, we've already got different sheep variants. That does it, that confirms it. The sheep, a model update, like a real one, I don't think it's gonna happen. It's tragic. The only thing that could cheer me up is a little bit of a home tour. So Studio W7, this place, I've gone ahead and made a couple more changes to it. Gone is that looming bookshelf in the corner. I'll probably like build a library setup somewhere else. I think it looks nice. Instead, I put a little dining table. I think it's cool. We've got a small kitchen area for like when we're cooking things in the kitchen. The desk, I didn't change too much about that. Bonzo's on his way over here. Don't worry about it. But then over here, I built a brand new wall. I don't know. I'm just like super into like these different setups right now and like different colors and shots. So I thought it looked kind of nice. Over here, we've got the patio with all of our brand new mobs just kind of chilling, hanging out here right now. And then we got the little sidewalk with a, oh my, what is that? But a sumo wrestler out here too. Hey, dude, how you doing? I went ahead and moved to the studio, packed it up, rebuilt it in a new location. I think that mountain is quite beautiful. And just in general, like looking out of the window there, I think it looks pretty nice. Now, I'm into the idea lately of like adding different shots for some of these videos that I'm making for you guys. So I went ahead and expanded the studio, commissioned a whole build team, aka myself. So over here, we've got a new thing. This is called the fireplace showroom. Inside of this room right here, it's like a cozy setup. I still have to finish decorating it up. Got to move all the details in, of course. But yeah, kind of like a little stage thing where I could like maybe do one of these shots for you in the video and show off like whatever, a timeline, something. So yeah, it's like a kind of like a different cool setup. Then I've got over here a main hallway. Maybe I'll expand that thing later. And then a giant testing space, mainly so I could take a look at all of the spawn eggs. We'll probably add even more to this thing as we get new mobs. But right now, it's all in alphabetical order. And then just kind of like a blank space, like a big open room for testing or whatever. So there we go, the studio. That's where it's at right now. And the newest update, same thing. If you enjoyed the video, tap like, subscribe. If you want to support me directly, consider becoming a member today. There's some cool benefits. Tap join for more. And until next time, it's been me, Chaperone. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.